Hello, guys, and welcome back to the last recap in this hotel, at least, because for the last month, almost exactly a month, we left on September 5th, and we will be arriving October 4th in Florida. So for about a month of trading in different locations nonstop, we'll finally make it to our destination in Florida, and I'm just super excited. Unfortunately, we wrapped up September with 2 red days back to back, and today no different, another red day. So let me go over to my stats really quickly so you guys can see the calendar view, and then we'll go right into the trades themselves. It wasn't really the most interesting day. I can't lie about that. So September, our last 2 days right here were red, and then today is going to be our third red day in a row. I actually thought it was 4 red days in a row, so actually I kind of feel better about that already. But today, if we just go to the trading screen right now, we're down $300 almost exactly. We're down 69 on PROG, and we're down 369 on BMRA. I don't know what's up with the number 69 popping up everywhere. It was also our what we were down yesterday as well. So actually yesterday, let's talk about that. So yesterday we were down 669, and that puts us down 300 today. And I just did the calculation on this week alone, and minus 300, so we're still green on the week, $66. It was a slippery week for me. It was just like constantly giving back profits, one step forward, one step back the whole entire week. We didn't have those good follow-throughs, those good resolutions. I also used a little bit smaller size, $9.3 thousand, as opposed to, $14, $15, $20,000. A lot of my trades I was using smaller size, and I was getting also a lot of partial fills, or, I would start adding into my trade, hoping it was be a winner, right? You want to average into your winners, and then we'd have, the ticker fail, and I either just stopped out or took a small loss on it. Happened again and again and again, and today it happened several more times. So I was actually getting really annoyed, and we'll talk about, let's actually start with BMRA first, because I think this one wraps it up pretty nicely. Look at this flush, absolute disaster, down 15%. It's just, so this ticker popped up, and we are up around like 40 something percent, almost exactly 40%. And I always say, tickers under 40%, I don't really want to be trading. This was like right on the line. Anyway, I bought into this pullback, and this is where I was still kind of getting aggressive. I started adding into this. It's hard to see here on this one, but I was constantly adding. You can see it here into this green candle. I was constantly buying, looking for that breakout and continuation to at least $7 or so. We didn't get that. In this trade that I was up on for my initial entry around 7%, I ended up failing, and since I was really accumulating near the highs, I eventually got stopped out over here, and I was, first trade on the day, should have been green. I was down 500 on that one, and I was like, oh, here we go again. I think it was Wednesday. I traded 8 tickers like this, and none of them had resolution. Yesterday, I think it was 6 or 7 tickers I traded. Same situation. So it was just, I feel like we're back, and this is how the summer was. A lot of failed movements. So I was scalping a lot in the summer, but as the market was heating up, I went away from scalping a little bit and started adding into my winners, looking for some big profits. It works when it works, but when the market's slow, it does not work at all. So I was writing the Discord, like what I might do is really just not add into my winners until it's like 100% winner or something like that, until I really feel some power behind these tickers, because I've just been constantly giving back profits. Just wait, next, on Monday, the first stock I'm going to be careful on, it's going to end up running 100, 200%. That's kind of how it works, but I need to be a little bit more cautious. I need to build in my cushion a little bit, because every pre-market I've been down $500 or $1,000, and I spend the rest of the market open trying to make back my losses. And at that point, it's hard, because you're near your max stop on the day, and you're not letting tickers run or have their have the move have its time to kind of play itself out, right? So it'll be moving a little bit to the up or downside, and you just close right away because you don't have that mental confidence anymore. And I think that was a little bit of my problem being down so much pre-market each and every single day. But yeah, it's tough. So I probably need to take profits a little bit quicker until we see a little bit more consistency with the market, because yeah, days like today or days like this week has just been miserable in terms of day trading. So yeah. It's been tough, which is unfortunate because this was the first week I had a little bit of consistency in terms of where I was at. So every morning I was able to trade at least from the same location in my hotel room on a table, as opposed to waking up trying to find a place in the lobby or something like that. That was always really exhausting. That's when the market was a little bit hotter, so that also didn't line up very nicely. Anyway, let's talk about BMRA, and then we'll talk about PROG, and then just wrap it up and get into the weekend. So, okay, BMRA on the daily was making okay moves. We're above the 180-day simple moving average, and we have some decent resistance zones. It's not a blue sky, but at the same time, I really like the upside potential. And I think that's probably why I got more or less aggressive on this ticker. In terms of some stats here, shares, 12.5 million shares outstanding, 74 million market cap. That's everything we're usually looking for. Looks like it has a few news catalysts coming out here, but I wasn't looking at the catalyst. As you guys know, I don't care so much about that at the moment. And let's see here what's been going on. So this one popped up, pulled back, popped up again, kind of like SNOA. And then we just didn't get that follow through here. So I tried several attempts in this area, and the one time I actually didn't hold long enough was the one time it popped up just a little bit here, but that also was a fail, so that's fine. And then I tried the same thing several more times here. I tried to ride the front side. Here I made some small wins, and then in this one, of course, my biggest size, whack, this one sells off and it doesn't work, so I'm back right on BMRA, kind of gave back my profits. I don't want to sound so negative right now, but it was kind of annoying where I felt like every time I was like, okay, let's size in, boom, it failed. So it was just, I think we're at like around a dozen different stocks now that happened to. So it's just like, it's just a little bit exhausting. But I think that's part of the game with being a trader. You have to go into each trade kind of with the same mentality, and you look for that continuation, because the one time you don't do it, oftentimes is the one time it works. So you have to be pretty resilient as a day trader just to kind of get in again and again and again. And if that's getting beaten down again and again and again and again, and you just cut your losses quickly, right? So it's a little bit strenuous, and weeks like this statistically are bound to happen. So it's totally fine. As a trader, what we really want to be focused on is risk management, survive long enough until the market heats up and till the stocks start working to your strategy. Other than that, you just don't want to blow up your account. So a lot of this was just, me trying, but we didn't get any moves. Some of these trades down here, I realized we're on the backside. It's pretty obvious. So I was doing a little bit of dip trading. This one was way too aggressive. I tried to pull this take this pull back, but in this area I try to do a little dip trade, but you could see here I just closed out right away. I was lacking conviction. And also a good trade that shows the lack of conviction is a trade like this where I actually get a really good entry, but I close right away for a very small profit, when I could have held this one a lot longer. So I sold this one right around 603. We're not even up halfway in this green candle, and I already closed because I'm just so traumatized of BMRA just not working. This is really not the ticker to chase. We were also talking about that in the Discord. Don't chase this ticker. You want to kind of average in early and then take profits as soon as possible. I didn't trade BMRA much after that, but yeah, down 369 on this one. And then PROG. I was actually thinking this could be the one of the better tickers today, mainly because it's been a multi-day runner here, and then we get some upside potential for sure. So let's look in this one. Actually, the stats on this one: 120 million shares outstanding. That's kind of a lot. 236 million market cap, also on the higher side. Yeah, more or less that's fine. Potential squeeze candidate. Looks like it has a catalyst there. Maybe a Wall Street bet ticker or something like that. I'm not sure. Anywho, why are my trades not popping up here? So this actually is a question that pops up sometimes when your trades don't show up. So if you go to settings and you say show orders, all your trades should show, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So if you just refresh, I have my layout saved as day trader. So I'm just going to click that and it just kind of resets it. So now let's go back to PROG by clicking here and see if our trades show up. This should do the trick, usually does. Rarely do I have to restart the program, but it looks like there's also a little bit of delay happening here. So let me just go actually pause the video for a second and wait till it comes back. All right, chart finally loaded. I don't know, I think it was an internet issue, but here you can see the trades popping up now. So this one, pre-market, I didn't trade primarily because TOS pre-market doesn't start till 7, so pretty much anything from this area is what I could have traded pre-market. Nothing happened worth really noting until this area where we try to break down here and we pulled right back up. I ended up trading this pullback looking for a pop to the upside. It did happen, but I was already closed at this point, which... typical. I mean, what do you expect in a slow market like this? You kind of just get shaken out. Also, I usually never trade these kind of barcode price actions because it's just no volume, not enough volume to really make it worthwhile, and it's just not my strategy. I really like quick momentum. And PROG actually was a pretty perfect 20% rally here. I was just focused on BMRA at the time, and I wasn't really looking at PROG, which was a bit of a mistake. We had a pretty solid red to green move here where it sold off 6% or so, popped up higher, 11%, pulled back, and then ran again. So this would have been the time to trade it. This pullback, this one, and then this one. I was watching it on this pullback, and you do see here, I try to buy into this breakout. This is where I made a little bit of money, and then I had a little bit of a scratch trade when I tried to buy this dip. Yeah, I don't know. I was always constantly a little bit late to the party. Look, I was buying this one at 211, and I pretty much closed right away after that. And this one, I bought at 2, pulled back a little further, popped up, and I closed again right away. So a little bit of that is really lack of conviction. Me being like, oh man, like nothing's been working out for me. So I just been closing very quickly, for better or worse. Sometimes it's for better. Sometimes I just been missing a lot of profits. But I'll know when I'm a little bit more in the flow state. And today was not a day for me to keep trying to gun it and keep trying to make back my losses and get in the green, because a day like today where things aren't really working out, you just end up getting caught in moves like this where you're like, okay, finally there's a breakout, and you buy it, and then you get flushed and you're down 15%. You're just like, oh my god, that was miserable. Or even PALT yesterday's the last 2 days big gapper here. Look at this sticker. It has a bit of a pullback here, and if you're waiting for that breakout, all of a sudden this thing flushed, halted. It was down 12%, continued to sell off for a total of 20% here, 21% even, and now it's kind of been consolidating near these lows. So it's been a really, really tough day. I know somebody in the Discord actually nailed this move. They they called this out perfectly. Yeah, I just checked. It was Tom Salerno. And right in this area, I think he said that he was just going to try to trade PALT and wait for that random pop to the upside, that red to green move. And it actually ended up working. He made 8% on this roughly 14% pop from the low to the top, which is beautiful. That's a majority chunk of that move. So that was a really, really good trading. In a way, that kind of sums up what you had to be doing today, is just taking random stabs in the dark, waiting for, or pretty much hoping for big random pops to the upside, because every kind of move to the upside did not last. I mean, you have a quick move to the upside, and this is typically where I start trading it, and then it was just all failed attempts from there on out. So good work on that, Tom, for kind of averaging into the market ahead of time, thinking what might happen, looking for good risk reward, and then just waiting for those big pops, because that was really the way to trade today. So I think a bit of my failure as well was just not adjusting to the market quick enough, and trading as aggressive as if the market was up 100-200% gappers and we were trading those hot movements. That's kind of what I was still trading when I should have been trading what we have, and that's no gappers over 40%. If I just went in with that mindset today, I think I could have been profitable. So you got to adjust your trading to the stocks that you're seeing. The market doesn't really care about your strategy overall, so you got to adjust. And today and actually the last 3 days, I just didn't adjust quick enough. So I think that's a little bit my recap, my summary. Overall, I don't really need to change anything in my strategy. I just got to be sometimes a little bit more aware of what the current market's doing, and then change my aggression and when I take profits a little bit. And just a few tweaks like that could have made me green today, but that's usually how trading goes. So unfortunately, I'm starting October in the red, but let's hope the rest of October gives us a little bit more action. I'm pretty optimistic. As you can tell with my trading, I'm still going very, very hard, and I plan to continue going hard. But like I said in the beginning of this video, as long as I start seeing tickers over 40, 50%, and even to the 100%, that's really where I want to get a little bit more aggressive. Otherwise, I'm going to tone down my aggression just a little bit. But overall, I'm quite optimistic going forward. And I think even if the market is selling off, like there's been a lot of talks about, the small caps even tend to do better when the overall market is kind of like neutral or slightly red or slightly green. So I don't really need a strong market because we're not trading large caps. We just need more volume overall, and that usually comes with the fall, winter, and spring months. All right, guys, that's all for this video. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you then first thing Monday morning. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out. Consider subscribing if you're new, and like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades.